I don't think, anyway, no.
Probably it's because this time we have like lots of tutors.
Yeah, I mean, the thing also to do, Mohammed, you know, you have to remember you've got, I would be making use of all my peers, all my fellow students, as well as the tutors and the lecturers, you know. You know, you've got a huge resource available.
I think discussion is really, really good thing.
And the discussions are very good because everybody can see the discussions. And that's not a bad thing. That's a very good thing. Because what you try to do is, if you've got a query, raise it, you know. Don't worry about, oh, I think that's a silly thing to raise. I daren't raise it. No. I am the champion as a student of asking stupid questions, particularly on Monday mornings. And I used to be the sharpest by the Friday. Right? But the next Monday, I was coming out with absolute drivel and rubbish for questions. But, of course, there were other people in the class who also had the same questions. So that was why it was very useful. So it's very, you know, don't worry about asking questions. Don't feel self-conscious about it. Just ask, you know. Yes. Yeah, I mean, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. In the end, you know, what does it matter? The only thing that matters is what grade you get at the end. So what you're trying to do is remove any misconceptions that you have between now and the actual exam, you know, or the assessments. That's when it matters, in the assessments. Up until then, you know, you're just trying, your job is to get a good understanding of what we're talking about and to clarify, you know, what it's about and to remove any of these misconceptions. Yeah, but when you're looking at Qiskit, this is delete, when you're looking at Qiskit, look for the similarities as well. Yeah? So Qiskit is also, if you look at I put a reference to LangQ on the page last week as well. And I'll also include one on Quipper, I think. And these are just papers. But if you look at LangQ, it's very similar in some ways because it's procedural. Or, you know, line by line, step by step, isn't it? Quipper is a good example of one that's a functional paradigm. So that's a good one to read about as well, Quipper. I'll put that one up shortly. And by shortly, I mean well, I'll try and do it now. Okay. Yeah, otherwise it'll be Monday or Friday or something, you know.
Yes. Okay, so I will start then, yeah?
Okay, and I'll disappear.
Yeah. So we are done with the logic paradigm today.
Yeah, I introduced the logic paradigm earlier.
Yeah, so it's all done, right? So they know prepositions.
Yeah. Okay. And they've been reading about propositions and predicates as well.
Yeah, so I have seen that self-study. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Okay, I'm gone now.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, hello everyone. So today we'll be looking at the logic paradigm that you just covered, right, in your lecture. The idea is just to introduce you. So I don't want you to just directly rush into it, but just understand and just get an idea or heads up with what we're going to do, okay? So for this week, practical, that means the coming week practical, we'll be working with Prolog, okay? So Prolog is a logic-based programming language, and logic paradigm we also known as declarative or rule-based paradigm or programming language. Okay. So what I want you to do is, first let me share my screen. Okay, again, I want you to download and install SWI Prolog in your machines. Okay, so if you just type in SWI Prolog download or something like that, then you should be able to see the links. If you click on this first link, So just type in SWI Prolog download. And now again, I think there may be issues with Mac OS people. Okay, so I would say don't panic. Just try if you can work it out, or else we will see what we can do. But for those who have a Windows platform, they can easily do it. Okay, because I myself have done it. So if you type in SWI Prolog download, or even just SWI Prolog, you will get this first link. So just click on this. This is what you're going to get. Okay, so type in SWI Prolog download. Go to the first link, which is swiprolog.org. Let me just give you the link, then you're in Teams messages. So this is the link where you have to go. I have just pasted it on the chat, so you can see it there. Okay, now then again, based on your platform, you download and install the appropriate type in your machines. So I would suggest go for the stable release rather than the development release. Okay. So it's quite a lot. You can even learn it from here. Okay, download the stable release, not the other one, or the development one, or whichever you're comfortable if you want. So download, install. And if any issues, then let me know.
I think it's worth noting, sorry to interrupt, you can see the third entry. You've got Prolog for Mac Operating System X, OS X.
Oh, where is it in the page? Where is it?
Yeah, just go back. There you go. Scroll down. Third row.
Oh yeah, there. This one. Yes. 8.2. Yeah. Okay.
So you may need to set it up.
So you need Mac ports. We can't do it without Mac ports? Or do we need to have Mac ports first installed?
No, I think you can. Anyway, the point is it's available.
Okay.
You just have to go through, the steps.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yes, for Windows, there are these two. For Mac OS, the third entry, if you can just check it. I mean, I can't check it. I don't have Mac. So Mac people can check in and let me know that if it's working or not. No, it's not necessary, Norman. Mac people don't really need to get which is a stable version. Well, you will get two types there. One will be a stable, one will be saying development release, whichever one you want to download. So once downloaded, actually, this is how it's going to look like. If you can... So this is something you're going to get like the application when you run it. This is how that SWI Prolog is going to look like if you open it in your machines. Okay, I'm checking the chat section, so if you have any problem you encounter, you let me know. So what those links are for, Kash Kumar? You're sharing some links. You can even tell us what those links are for. Oh, so for online SWI Prologue, okay. Okay. Thank you, Kash Kumar. So if anyone having any issues downloading and installing, then they can have this online links, which are actually shared by Kash Kumar up in the chat section. Is this IBM or Hugs? Thomas, this is none of those. It's Prologue. It's neither IBM's Qiskit, it's not even Hugs. It's Prologue. We are trying to work out on the logic paradigm. So we'll be working on Prologue, logic programming language. Muhammad, okay, it's working on Mac? Okay, good. Which one should I install? Praneet, which one? What do you mean? So depending on your machine you install, whichever one you have downloaded, you install that one. Okay, let me know how is it going. Is it okay if we continue? Or shall I wait till you all do this? Installation is complete. Okay, good. Okay, now then once that is done, what I want you to do is to check this link. So I'm sharing this link with you again in chat section if you check. What I want you to do is go through this overview, okay? There is quite an introduction of to Prologue, really, SWI Prologue, and follow the exercise or the notes, points or questions given in there. So let's look at this. It's a quick introduction to Prologue, okay, and there are few problems. So for example, this first one, if you write this in your, let's take this, and let me share the okay, this one. Okay, so if I write this here, this first one, so what we have actually done is, again, it's kind of creating list, okay? What you said is that X, so the member of your X is a list for which you have members or elements as 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you read the instructions given up in your here, okay? So when Prologue is ready, it prints a prompt, and then you can type in your queries. So your query contains your goals or questions. It is a rule-based or declarative programming style, okay? So you yourself saying what is it that you want inside. Okay, now all the Prologue queries must end with a full stop. So let's just take this. I anyway have put a full stop, so let's just put a full stop and come out. Do it again. if I remove this full stop, I press enter, it will keep on, go into a continuation mode. So unless I give a full stop, then the query is done and you will get the respective output. So it is saying, okay, X is taking the value 1. So X can be 1. Okay, the element from the list that you have defined can be 1. Okay, if I put a full stop again, I'm out of the query. So let's try it again. However, if I put a semicolon, I will get alternative solutions. So X can take the value 2 as well, 3 as well, and because there are just 3 elements in that list that you have defined, you are out of the query now. So X can be 1, X can be 2, X can be 3. Okay. If you don't put any semicolon, you won't get any alternative solutions. So if there are any alternative solutions to your query, you can get those with the help of putting a semicolon. Okay. Let's check what is the next question. Okay. Okay, what if you want to get all solutions in a list? Well, in that case, we can use this query, find all. Find all, then you put that list members X, from where you have to find. This is the query that you were writing up, right? So these are the elements of a list, right? And then you want that to be in a list. This L that you're passing, you're saying, I want that all in a list. So you press enter and you get L equal 1, 2, 3. So your 1, 2, 3, all the elements came in a list form. Okay, so if you want a list, then that's the way how you write it. So this L is really whatever output you will be getting from here, all the members you don't want them like this. You don't want them like separate entries, however you want them in a list. So that's how you get the list. Similarly, you can keep on checking rest of the questions. Okay. So if you have 2 lists, okay, if you have 2 lists and you want whatever is common between those 2 lists, so kind of an intersection, right? Then what you do, you can type this. You can press enter. So 2 is common between this first list and the second list. So first list is just having 3 elements in it, 1, 2, and 3. The second list is having A, B, 3, C, 2. Okay, 5 elements in it. What we have asked is that we want the common elements out. So if I put a full stop, I'm out of the space of that query, right? So what do I do then? For alternative solutions, I press semicolon. Okay, no more than 2 elements common. Well, the idea is you familiarize yourself with the introduction, okay, and you will be able to get it. I trust you all. So if you go through this document, which is here, okay, the link I have already shared with you all. So if you can just go through this document and read it and try all these instructions and questions given over here, you will be able to understand. Okay, so I'm not going to do everything with you here, but I would really like to discuss one question which in your lecture you were discussing. So I would like to show you that question here, and then we can take this for next week. Okay, so we won't be doing prologue today basically, but I just wanted to kick it off, So you download and you install SWI Prologue in your machines. You go through this particular document, which is a quick introduction to Prologue. Okay, try to read these instructions. If by any chance we will have, if by any chance you will get any sort of error message, try to read, observe, and understand that error message. Okay? So there may be times when you purposely, missing something in order to get an error message. So just keep an eye, be attentive while you are following this document. Okay? So that's what I want you to do. So is this much part clear? And then I will discuss that one speaking question which you were doing in your lecture, just to, kind of, because you have done it, it's quite fresh in your memory, so I can just take that opportunity. So is this clear? You download, you install SWI Prolog, and you go through this document and you do this. Oh, why don't we have a class? Oh, because it's Easter break, but after Easter break, maybe we can start. Okay? Or probably we can publish the practical and then you can have a look at it. Okay? Will we have a demo for Qiskit? We already have had a demo for Qiskit, Mohammed, last week. But if you have any questions, I'm here. We still have time, right? A lot of time. So I will go through that speaking question, languages problem, and then I will come to your questions if you have any questions. Is this much part okay with you all? Download, install, go through the introduction, and this is it. That's what I want you to do for the moment and for your next week. Okay? So when we actually do prologue, you all must be already familiar with every idea and concept. Okay? So now then, I would like to do one question with you, which is, this one, because you are doing this speaking question in your lecture, right? So what we do is we created a file. So for myself, I have created this notepad, okay, wherein I wrote this few lines of code in Prolog. So what have I written is speaks Ellen Russian, okay? So what is it? Is it a predicate or a preposition? And why do we say it's predicate? So what are the properties of a predicate? Can we say it's a preposition? Okay, so with preposition, what do we say? Preposition is a statement which can either be true or false, but it cannot be true and false together, right? You don't have any midway. You either have one way or the other way. Either it's something or some statement is true, or it's completely false or not true. Okay, true or not true. Now, with predicate, if we have to express relationships, okay, and properties, then we use predicate. So, for example, the one which you just said, bossy Ellen, for example. So it's indicating the property or the quality of Ellen, that Ellen is bossy, okay? For example, manages John Bob. So John manages Bob. It's a relationship which is showing, okay, John is the manager and he manages Bob, okay? So with predicate comes relationships or properties if we have to indicate or express. Preposition, a simple statement which can either be true or false, okay? Now then, your prologue. In prologue, what we're using a set of facts or rules, set of facts and set of rules together. So by set of facts, I mean either it could be any simple statement or it can be relationship. So it can be the predicate or preposition, okay? So we use those as set of facts. But when I say set of facts, a fact is always true, okay? That's how we are taking it, okay? So you have some true values up there. So when I will say, okay, Ellen speaks Russian, it have to be true all the time because that's the rule that I have defined here. Speaks Ellen Russian, Okay? Speaks Alan Russian is a rule that I have now defined, and whenever I will say Ellen speaks Russian, it will be holding true value. Similarly, I said Bob speaks English, so this will also be true. Mary speaks Russian, true. Mary speaks English. So whenever, if I will query any of this four statement, they need to give me a true answer in prologue. Okay? Then we have defined a rule. So which rule were you discussing? There was a rule and a theorem associated with it. What was the name of that rule? Okay, think about it. Look back. But then here is, so these four are my set of facts. Okay, so this particular program have these four set of facts which will be holding true value. And then we have defined one rule. Okay, wherein what we are saying is, which is actually composed of then different predicates. Okay, what we are saying is talks with person 1, person 2. So what we are trying to refer is that person 1 talks with person 2. Okay, when, so this symbol, now this has also been introduced, and because you're already doing all the self-study, so you better be knowing what is this. Okay, and anyway, so you have the symbol, and what I will say is that this is your left hand side, this is your right hand side of your rule. Okay, so we say that this left hand side will be true, okay, only if these three conditions are met. So person 1 talks with or can talk with person 2 only, or if and only if person 1, this first condition is saying person 1 speaks language L. Okay, then you have a comma in between, and you have another condition which says person 2 speaks language L. Okay, and if you see they are the same variable that we have used, it's L. So it's what we are indicating in a way is that person 1 and person 2 both speak same language. That's what these statements are saying. When I write speaks person 1 L, speaks person 2 L, okay, what I'm trying to say is that they both are speaking a common language, which is L. Okay, now my third condition is person 1 should not be equal to person 2. So what we want is one should not be talking to oneself. There needs to be two different persons. Okay, so they need to be different, having a common language. Okay, so I wrote this in a file. So in my case, I have opened a notepad. I wrote these lines of code, and I saved the file with, I have given it the name languages1, and with extension .pl. Okay, this is the extension .pl. That's what I have given to the file. Okay, prologue. Then I saved it, and then I go to prologue. So once you have saved your file, what you have to do is you go to File, Consult. So consult is really that you are, opening the file. Languages1, and you open. Okay, let's just see it. So if I write any query pertaining to my languages L, okay, it should work here, or it should give me something. So if I say, go here. So these are the queries, for example. So if I just put Alan speaks Russian, operator expected, true. There was already a full stop up here, okay, if you can see it. So that's why it failed. Anyway, when I wrote this statement here, it gave me true value. Okay. So why it gave me true value? Well, because I have already defined this particular statement in my file. I said that Ellen speaks Russian. Okay. And therefore, this particular statement, when I wrote in my prologue, it gave me true value, or true answer. Now then, if I write something, if I say speaks Okay, and I put Ellen, and I say French. I put a full stop. I get false as the answer, right? The query execution gave me false as an output. Why? Because Ellen, is there any rule or any fact that we have defined as that Ellen speaking French? No. So therefore, it gave me false value. So again, if you try this, Bob speaks English, it will give you true value. Okay. Similarly, if you say Mary speaks Russian, it will give you true value. And see, my cursor didn't actually let me go out of the query. Why? Because there may be some alternative solutions. No, that's it. Okay. So Mary speaks English. There are two languages that we have written for Mary. Okay. Now, we know that there are 4 people in our program, in our code, that no, not 3 people, right? Ellen, Bob, and Mary. Okay. Ellen speaking Russian, Bob speaking English, Mary speaks both Russian and English. So that means if I want, if person 1 is Ellen and person 2 needs to be somebody with whom Ellen can talk. So when will this query will be giving me a true result? So who can talk with whom? And to find out that, we can follow these queries. Okay, can we just check who talks with who? So can these two people talk? Let's check it. So what we are saying, Mary talks with Bob. So is it true? Well, this is true. Why? Because they both have a common language and they both are different persons. Okay. Let's just say talks with if I say talks with Mary, okay, and no, not Mary, let's say Ellen and Bob, because they don't have any common language, do they? And I press enter. False. So Ellen and Bob cannot talk to each other. Why? Because they do not have a common language. Or in this particular query, talks with Ellen, Bob, the rule actually fails. Okay? This rule of talks with person 1 and 2, this rule fails. And why is it failing? Well, this third condition is met, which is okay. Ellen and Bob are different persons. However, this first condition and 2 conditions, second condition, in this condition, the language L is not common. So, Ellen speaks Russian. And if this one, I will just replace the values. So, you have gone through resolution, unification, and also instantiation. So you better be understanding it with the help of these queries when you're writing in. Okay? Where is that instantiation happening? Or where is that unification happening, for example? Okay? So this first and second condition, they fail. Why? Because they do not have any common language. Okay? Third condition met, but we need all these predicates to be true in order to have this rule to be true. Okay? So we will get a success if all the conditions are met, otherwise the query will fail. Okay? And I totally missed the chat section, so yeah, in prologue that means not equal. That's right. Kashkumar, that's right. Okay, what if you try a name not defined? Well, then that will be treated as a variable. For example, if I say, if I want to know talks with, why am I putting the bracket? Talks with, okay, say Mary, X. Okay, now then, let's see this. If I just put this thing, so So what I just did is I put that small X there. So that one is just treated as that some person. Okay. However, now check it. Talks with Mary. Come on. And I put a full stop. So we are getting possible values that X can hold. That means Mary can talk with whom? Mary can talk with Ellen. So I put a semicolon, and Mary can talk with Bob. Okay, so there are two people who can take that X value. So in this second query, this X is now treated as a variable which can take values. Okay, so what was that? Unification, probably, that you look for possible outcomes that you can get, or with whom Mary can talk. So it's kind of looking for the condition that there needs to be somebody else than Mary, not Mary, but along with same language. So Mary can speak Russian and English both. Ellen speaks Russian, therefore Ellen and Mary can speak. And similarly, because Mary speaks English and Bob also speaks English, so Mary and Bob can speak. Okay, so in this particular case, so for all variables when you're defining in Prolog, okay, that's with capital letter, uppercase letter, that is what you used. Yes, Kashkumar, that's right. So if you read that document, that the link I've shared, okay, in that document instructions are given already, and I think you can see there that it's written over there. So for defining your variables, you always use capital letters or uppercase letters. Okay, so that's how you can talk about, okay, when and where in my Prolog the rule fails and the rule succeed. Okay, so when you get a true outcome like this, for example, talks with Mary Bob, this is a success query or a Prolog success. However, if I say talks with Alan Bob, that's where my Prolog fails. The query fails. It is giving me false. Okay. Similarly, you can try other queries. Okay. Let's say we have lots of queries here. So if I can just say talks with XY. Okay. Talks with X, Y. So what will happen here is that it will look for who can talk with whom. So your both X and Y, two persons, are actually undefined, and they will now be instantiated, or the X and Y will be resolved now. As in, so one pair who can talk is Ellen and Mary. Okay. So I put a semicolon. Bob and Mary can talk to each other. Ellen and Mary can talk to each other. Mary and Ellen can talk to each other. Mary and Bob can talk to each other. Now, Mary and Bob, Bob and Mary are same thing. However, what we are trying to say is that those X and Y, that means person 1 and person 2. So we can kind of say X can be Mary as well as Y can be Mary. Okay, that's what we are trying to say. When we say Ellen can talk to Mary, similarly, Mary can talk to Ellen. So what we are trying to say that X can hold the value Ellen and X can hold the value Mary as well. That's what we're trying to say. And that's why you will say, okay, what is really the difference between this Ellen and Mary and some other Ellen and Mary, for example, here, right? Because what it says is it is giving the value Mary to your X variable and Ellen to your Y variable. However, in your first outcome, X was associated with Ellen and Y was associated with Mary. Other way around. Okay? Okay, so no more combinations are possible. Only 4 combinations are possible. Okay, so who can talk with whom? Well, Ellen can talk to Mary, so that X can take value Ellen, Y can take value Mary, X can take value Bob, Y can take value Mary. Okay, so that's how it will be looking for the patterns probably, and for your rule to succeed, that rule that you have defined, this rule. So it will always be looking for this rule. Okay. The language text file. No, I have given it's not txt file, Mohammed, it's .pl. So if I will file, I save as, I go to save as, okay, I give this as .pl. So I change this text document to all files. Okay, that's what I do. So we give the extension. So the extension for those files will be, while saving, will be .pl. Okay. So do we understand this idea that our Prolog code is composed of some set of facts and some set of rules? Okay. The statements that you're just typing in, these are referred to as facts. Okay. That will hold some true value. And this is a rule that you define. Okay. A rule needs to be fulfill all the conditions which are given in your right hand side in order for that rule to succeed, or the Prolog to succeed. Okay. Okay, so variables can be, what supports A be doing? Well, that's another question. So if you're looking at my file, just ignore this part. You will be understanding it. We will give you this as a question in your practical sheet, okay? So what exactly is happening? For instance, X is Ellen, Y is Mary, and then other names as well. Well, you just finished the lecture, didn't you? So what everything you were, let me open the lecture. So what was you learning here, really? I think I'm quite... Resolution, unification, horn clauses. Does anything ring a bell? You know the horn clause. What happens when all the other names are there? Well, nothing happens. It's just giving you the combination that what values those X and Y variables can hold and who two people can talk. Okay, so it's what it is looking for really is your rule to succeed. X can take value Ellen, Y can take value Mary, and with saying that this is X is Ellen, Y is Mary, what we are really saying is Ellen talks with Mary. That's it. Okay, so that will be true. Ellen talks with Mary, possible. Then you're saying X is taking Bob and Y is taking Mary. Then what do you say in this case? Well, Bob talks with Mary. So you just replace these X and Y in your main query with what you're getting here, right? So Bob talks with Mary. In your third possibility, in your third case, Mary talks with Ellen. So X and Y are just changing. It's just that Ellen talks with Mary. Mary talks with Ellen. Like this. Okay? So what combination did we select? No, it's just giving you who can talk with whom. We can pick any of the combination. You can just put them in your query. And you can just say, okay, if that's what it is saying, let's just try it. Talks with, and if I say Bob, Mary, it should give me a true value. Why? Because we have already checked who can talk with whom. So, there you go. Bob talks with Mary. Monica, once you have saved your file, okay, you go to file in your SWI Prolog, right? And you go to this first option, which is consult. So go to file, go to consult, locate your file wherever you have placed it, right? And then you select the file and click open. Okay, that's what you do. Okay, so this is your speaking problem or languages problem question that you all were discussing in your lecture. I hope it will either clear up all the clutter which was there or any doubts if you were having, or it may raise some more questions. Well, it is fine in both the ways. You need time to process it. Okay, any questions? Well, then nothing else is there then. It just coming out. So you don't have any true value there now. So after this 1, 2, 3, 4 case, it's false. Okay. We haven't defined it. We don't have to define it in the file, those X and Y. Okay. You can just you can just make them here. You can just type them here. Speaks, if I say Ellen, comma, say A. So Ellen speaks Russian. So A will be like language, because all these X, Y, A, B, C, they will be looking for these set of facts and rules that we have defined. So whenever I say speaks Ellen something, that something will take place of a language. Okay, so that A, what does the Ellen speak? Ellen speak Russian. Okay, similarly I can say speaks say Mary X, full stop, enter. So Mary speaks Russian. Okay, also Mary speaks English. Right, you can even make your query like who speaks Russian. So I think we must be having it here in a, yeah, we do have it. So we can even say speaks, okay, who, say for example English. So what we are saying, who speaks English? Well, so who takes part as verb, and is there anyone? Mary. Or it's same thing, saying speaks, sorry, capital X, Russian. So in this particular case, that X will be Ellen, okay, and Mary, right? So anything which is starting with a capital letter really is a variable, and that will be holding the values. Okay. Okay, do we have any questions? So any questions from Qiskit now? Any questions from Qiskit? Okay, so what I say is then, please do download and install and go through that first link that I have given, okay, and go through the introduction of Prologue. If you have any questions, you're most welcome to publish them under discussion, okay, and you can raise them during your practical or tutorial sessions. Even if you have any questions regarding the previous practicals, you can post them there, okay? So it doesn't matter that you're heading towards Prologue, then you can just miss the quantum. It's fine. If you want to raise questions about Qiskit there, you can raise it, okay? We'll read the Qiskit manual that is in Canvas, okay? Manual. Yeah, you have to create IBM QIDs for that, okay? For Qiskit. Okay, so for Prologue, are we all okay to install SWI Prologue and go through the introduction? So we will again do the speak or this language question with you in practical during your practical session, okay? So if you have any queries by then, you can raise them. Okay, guys, then. Excellent. What I want you to do is download download, of course, then install. That is WY Prolog. Okay, and then go through the introduction. All right, download, install SWR Prolog, go through the introduction, go through the introduction of Prolog. Okay, so this is it, that's what you have to prepare for your next Prolog practical. Okay.
Just notice, or just an update, if you're struggling to get SWI Prolog, say on the Macs, there is an online version of Prolog that you can try out, which is called Swish. And it's at swish.swi-prolog.org. That seems to work very nicely. Okay, so I'll copy that into the chat.
Yeah.
And then you can try it out.
Oh, somebody else shared some online...
Yeah, this one works.
Yeah.
This one works very well, so I'm quite pleased with that one. Let me just try to find...
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, Swish works well. Nope.
Oh, somebody already shared the link in chat.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, Kash Kumar shared it already.
Good. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yes, please. Those who have a lecture, they must leave now. Yeah. We are anyways done with the session. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that would be useful. You know.
Yeah, you have shared it now, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, I spent about half an hour trying out things on it, and it's working very well. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
So that gets over that problem.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you.
But they should be able to download the SWI Prolog into Macs anyway. But as a backup, just in case there are problems, there's an alternative.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be doing that after vacation, I suppose.
They can try doing them during the vacation.
Yeah.
I would be, personally, if it was me, I would be doing these and the Qiskit ones during the vacation. I would be getting as far ahead as I could possibly get.
That's right. That will give us more time to, prepare for the exam then.
Yeah, because I would be interested in getting as good a result as I can possibly get, and that would mean I would be getting ahead of the game. Yeah. Okay, keep well, keep safe.
So, okay, guys, here's the online editor link, which is shared, so you can check the link, okay? And that's quite easy, and that's working. So those who can still download, install, do that. If not, if they don't prefer going online editor. And then go through the introduction document that I've shared the link up in the chat section. Okay? So, all right. Have a good time. Thank you. Bye-bye.